Welcome back, folks. Well, I've ordered all of our fuel fittings to continue on our fuel system, but they're not going to be here till probably Saturday. So while we're waiting on those items, we're going to go ahead and start on our wiring. I kind of wish I had everything done so my fuel system be complete, but it is what it is. So we've got our wiring harness here for Sniper 2, and it is part number 271R1338A, or if you want to put it up in the Holley, go to their website. Part number is 558-191. So there's two different ones, two different harnesses you can buy on this Sniper, but show you what we're using here. Put that there for a moment. So this harness, I'm just going to show you. There it is. So 558-191 is this one right here, and that's what we have. This is so simple. So we basically just have one main harness is going to plug into our Sniper 2. We're using an external coil for our distributor setup. It's just got the just standard Fomoco, assuming this is an HEI. We're going to use the negative side of the coil, so it's going to go to our negative side of the coil. This pink wire, this is going to be what turns on the Sniper. Now let me tell you, the pink wire on all these Snipers, Sniper 1, Sniper 2, you've got to make sure that you have 12 volts keyed, 12 volts, that not only in the on position, but during start. If you go start your engine and you see the handheld start cutting off, then you've got a ground issue somewhere or something. But that Sniper needs to have 12 volts during crank. You know, it can drop down to 10, I guess. It'll probably still function, but need something that maintains 12 volts as much as possible during crank and run. Black and red directly to the battery. These EFI systems get a bad rap by people that do not follow the directions. They'll say, well, I found a place that's got, it's hot, it's over here on the starter, and here's a negative. No. The battery acts as a filter. The battery is a filter for the main power for this computer. So don't deviate and be a half-ass. Do it right. Go directly to the battery. Sorry, get off my soapbox. Cool thing right here. Now this is for a CAN bus, I believe. M8, I forget what they call it. Yeah, M8 CAN 1, excuse me. M8 CAN 1. So you can go in and program this thing with a laptop. God, I wish I could do that with mine. So cool. So this makes it, I believe, similar to like a Terminator system. So awesome. And then, of course, we have our blue wire. This is going to go directly back to our fuel pump. Now, we have two wires we're not going to use, and I'm going to show you which ones they are. First is this one here. Now, if Barry ever wants to go to a CD box, there it is. Has a TAC output, everything. It's just so simple and so nice. Now, I'm going to tell you what else Barry can do. If he ever decides that he wants to go to more outputs, let's say he wants to go to electric fans, he wants to go for AC kick, it turns the AC compressor on, an aftermarket tachometer, a trigger relay, for a second fan, whatever he wants. All he has to do is buy this harness right here, and it'll go to all those outputs. And it's just going to plug into this right here. And he can program that from his handheld. So awesome. The third thing, this thing is so awesome. If Barry ever wants to go to a Hyperspark, he can get the harness and plug into a Hyperspark along with the whole Hyperspark EFI ignition system. We did this on our charger. I can't tell you how happy I am with that thing. It is so splendid. You get that timing dialed in instead of messing with the Time-A-Lot and everything once you get your baseline. Man, it's wonderful. I love it. New technology in older cars. So we're about to get this thing routed, and then obviously we have on the Sniper, we've already got our coolant temp location right here. Thank you, Ford, for actually making it easy. Really cool. And then we've got our O2 sensor. We've already got our O2 sensor mounted. So we're going to start seeing the best way to route this and make it as clean as possible for Barry. So here we go. Okay, part of our Sniper 2 installation, plug in your O2 sensor. Connect your coolant temp sensor. Connect your 16-pin main harness connector. Yellow wire goes to the negative side of the coil. Remember to connect your positive battery, positive negative, directly to the battery. We've connected them over to the battery. The fuel pump is what we're about to run, which is the purple blue wire back to your fuel pump. And then the coil, yellow, goes to coil negative. And don't forget, on your pink, switched ignition 12 volt connects to terminal 4 on the PDM, which we do not have, or directly to a switched 12 volt wire. We verified that our pink wire has 12 volts during crank and on positions. All right. Fuel wire to the fuel pump is now routed, landed. And there's our female weather pack. There we go. All right, so you saw me grind the heck out of this to get down to bare metal. I'm not using a damn sheet metal screw for the grounds. We need good ground. So I've got everything terminated, got my eyelets on. Again, the tank's got to come back up, so this is just on temporarily so I can show everybody. But I've got a nice little 1/4 inch, I think it's a 1/4 bolt, CAD plated. I think it's CAD plated, I can't remember, it's anodized, whatever. With a nice lock washer from the other side and a nut. And we're going to ground this thing. I want good ground. So yeah, here we go. All right, we got this thing wired up now. So we started with our, I think it's our 16-pin connector. We got it tucked up under here. We've got basically everything that's going to go into the Sniper. Very simple. We're going to loop this. If Barry ever wants to go to a Hyperspark ignition, Hyperspark control, where you can control the timing with the handheld, we're going to loop this and probably put it behind the bag. This is the bag for the windshield washers. Got our yellow wire going to the coil. Very simple. We have our 12 volt wire hooked up. We've got 12 volts during crank and in the on position. Coolant temp sensor, O2 sensor. We're going to route our O2 sensor wire. We've got a lot of extra loop there, so we're going to try to figure that out. We do have to figure out our linkage. I'm not sure. This new Sniper has several different options. It seems like it would go in one of these positions here quite easily, but we'll get to that later. That's later. We're gonna hook up our PVC, or excuse me, our booster from our brakes, PVC. Very simple stuff. New spark plugs are installed. I've done a lot of 289 302s in these Mustangs, and I will tell you on this one, I'm not sure why, but the plugs were a pain in the rear. You look over down the side, I mean, it's getting your hand in there is something else. But I do have to put the gasket back in for the header, get that cinched up. Now, to the back, we've routed our purple fuel line. It went all the way back. It followed the fuel line, the send line from the pump. All nice and tidy, you can't hardly see it. And then we made our weather pack fitting. We've got everything grounded. We just need to go ahead and finish putting this in loom. And then Barry, obviously I got to pull the tank anyway. These are in here temporary. This is the ground from the sending unit. It's going to go to a ground on the body. And then we have to have a ground for the pump. It's also going to the body, and we got a nice good ground. And now we made our weather pack fitting, so Barry can always easily disconnect everything. So it's connected right here. There it is. He'll be able to connect, disconnect. Got the bulkhead connectors. I spoke with Barry and he said, hey, do what you think. So I think he'll be very happy. We're probably going to put a bulkhead connector here and a bulkhead connector here. One for the send from the pump and one for the return. Coming this way is straight shot. So this bad boy is getting close. You can do this thing lots of ways. You can rush it and half-ass it and do crappy connections, terminations, and grounds, and then you can complain about these EFI systems, how bad they are. Or you can take your time, 3 days, 4 days, still trying to get it done in a weekend. You don't have to have a lift, but it's easier, especially if you got to run plumb fuel lines and everything. If you take your time and you follow the directions, you're going to be a very happy person. Our battery connections are they're waiting to go on. I mean, this thing's getting ready to turn the key, so that's why I don't have the battery connections hooked up. It is literally close to being ready. So that pretty much concludes the wiring. It's very simple, and they tell you in the directions, if you'll just follow the directions. It's just take your time. I would say the longest part, obviously, was running the fuel lines. So the next video we do is going to be where we fire this puppy up and go through the handheld. So this is going to be the end, I guess, of what you want to call part 2, I guess. So thanks, everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe, and follow along. Have a great day, everybody.